Hello and welcome to another session of Reminiscing with History Makers. I'm joined today by Tammy DeWolf. Tammy, thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
So for starters, when did you join APCO?
I joined APCO in 2010.
And during your tenure, tell us about some of the agencies that you worked for, positions held, and some of those responsibilities.
I started July 3rd, 1995 in Berlin Police Department in Berlin, Connecticut, and I stayed there my entire public safety career, retired recently from there in 2021, and then I went to Rochester from Monroe County Dispatch, and I was there for about a year. I came back to Connecticut, because that's in New York, came back to Connecticut, and now I work for the Attorney General and Secretary in Antitrust.
Describe for us what drew you to join APCO.
The camaraderie. So at first it was, we're going to have you join APCO and you get discount on classes and they offer all this training, so let's get you involved in training. And that was, the basic thing was the training. What kept me here was the camaraderie and the networking.
And tell us about some of your APCO activities at the state, chapter, or national level.
I have volunteered for the international level. I've been on the conference committee 3 times as a volunteer chair. I have volunteered on the PDAC committee. I volunteered on awards committee. I think it's an amazing way to meet people, to get out there and to give back to public safety and to APCO and our profession. In my chapter, the Atlantic chapter of APCO, I went through the board. I started off as a board member at large, and now I'm the current past president, so I'm still on the board. This year I fall off the board, but I'm still active on committees and for volunteering.
Would you say you had a favorite out of those?
Every experience has its own experience for different reasons, so I'm not quite sure, but I love all of it, but I do have to say volunteering on the volunteer committee for an APCO International Conference is an amazing experience. I love all of the experiences, but that's pretty cool.
Would you say your APCO membership has had a direct effect on your career in public safety communications?
It absolutely has. So I did join in 2010, and like I said, my agency was kind of like, I was a dispatcher at the time. And it was, we're going to have you do trainings, and this gives us a discount. It's really all it was for. And then I started getting and seeing all the PS Connect messages and getting involved that way. 2015, I found through the PS Connect that my chapter was giving a scholarship. So that scholarship I ended up winning. It was from a fall training initiative. So I started going that year to my first ever chapter conference because of that scholarship. And that changed my entire career.
What do you like most about APCO?
The opportunities. So I think that APCO provides many opportunities for people to get involved, not just training, not just being at a conference and getting refreshed and meeting new people. It's the opportunity to become better in what you do by meeting others who can help you, who you can help. That camaraderie I think is huge, and it's a huge support network. That's something that I think there's just so many opportunities here that even go beyond the training, the networking. There's just a lot that's offered here. If you look at it, you have to read everything and find it, but it's there.
Is there anything you would say APCO does better than anyone else?
I do think that networking and support system APCO has better than others. Others are maybe just as equal. I have a biased opinion for APCO, but maybe they're just as equal in training. But I don't think anyone matches the opportunities that are there for supporting each other, for networking, for having that main frame of support that in these jobs in public safety you absolutely need.
So now with the advent of NG911, is there anything you think APCO will need to do to stay current with those emerging technologies?
I actually just went to a session yesterday, and I think they were pretty on top of staying right with where we need to be and learning, doing research for the future, learning, getting everything out there, getting the word out there, and trying to prepare agencies, at least getting them all the information that we can get them.
Is there anything that stands out to you as a significant contribution during your time in office?
For me, it was definitely being awarded that scholarship in 2015 because it did change my career. I was able to learn more. I brought it back to my agency. I worked in the police department, so we didn't have a whole lot of communications knowledge. We do now, and I was able to bring all that back. I was able to better not only myself, our dispatch inside of the police department, but the police department as a whole. Because of that change, one thing that is important to me is scholarships, and I'm always promoting scholarships, so much so that this year I gave away my own scholarship. So I paid for someone to go to our chapter conference as a pay it forward kind of a thing, because that opportunity is huge. And I just wish everybody could have that. But I don't have that kind of money. So, one person for a hotel and registration was what I could do.
Wow, that's great.
Yeah.
Well, once again, this has been Reminiscing with History Makers. Tammy, thank you so much for sharing that with us.
Thank you.